Welcome. This is the DNX Show. We're here every Thursday. We start at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. You can listen to us on X, obviously live. We stream live on YouTube. And then when we're done with the show, you can listen to replays on X, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It's like a big deal. We're all over the place. There's two hosts of the show. My name is Todd Ryan. My co-host is Josh Reason. We're both domain investors, and we talk about domain investing each week and anything else we want to talk about. This week we're going to touch on the World Cup. But let me say hi to my co-host Josh. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks, Todd. How are you?
Doing very well. I think some of you might have noticed by the accent. I'm from Indiana. I mean, no, Josh is from the UK. Yeah, Josh. So, man, I'm loving the World Cup. I mean, I'm loving it. So, especially since they're out here, we're doing big things out here in California. We're tearing stuff up. But are you watching a lot of it? Are you having a chance to? You always have visitors, and you got kids to take care of. Are you?
Yeah. I've been watching a good amount of the World Cup. I enjoy the World Cup, and um, big supporter of England. USA playing tomorrow as well. We'll be supporting them too. So yeah, exciting.
My wife's from Rio. We love Brazil. And I was watching Colombia yesterday, and I was telling her that's my team. She don't give about Colombia. I tell her I tell you she sounds like Sofia Vergara. I mean, and you can't understand some of the things she says. But so yeah, no, I love Brazil today. I mean, I got Mexico playing later today, but I love England too. And when I saw Daniel got hits, telling you they're posting something, not telling you, but I think England's gonna. What the fuck? I was watching the game right when I saw that post, I think, and thought, yeah, fucking no. I mean, so they're looking good. It's that I saw the $1 million bet somebody bet. Or was it you that put that the boohoo? Somebody placed $1 million bet on Spain, and they ended up tying, right?
Yeah, there's lots of degenerate action going on Kalshi and Poly Market, that's for sure.
Yeah, I matter of fact, I did have a couple winners. They were obvious favorites, and I won a few bucks. I don't even like to do. I mean, just had the worst luck on Kalshi in the last month or two, and I'm talking about losing just a couple hundred total over a month and a half. I mean, nothing. But I mean, it hurts like getting stabbed when I lose $20. I'm like, I just can't take it because it just doesn't. But yeah. So you're looking forward to. So USA does tomorrow playing Australia. There's some great stuff today. Great games on today. Brazil's playing tomorrow too. But it's fucking just exciting. They say it's like, you know, I know Americans don't give a shit, most of them, but the 35 days in a row of like Super Bowls, and they just don't want to believe it. But yeah, you look at the stadium and it's like jam packed every spot. I'm watching, I think, in Atlanta right now. It's pretty awesome. Um, yeah, well, we got a lot of stuff to cover today. Boy, it's going to be crazy. Go to dnxshow.com and you can see what we're going to talk about. Okay, so I'm all over the place, but Josh, it was interesting. So Adam came up with this thing where I guess you register a name and then they if it's one that's on their list, it automatically goes to premium. I love the idea because I'm like, listen, they're telling you instead of it would seem like bullshit anyway, registering a name, giving it to them, and then they decide. I like the idea of them saying, hey, these are available and we would put these on our premium platform. So I like it. Now, of course, there's some negative people. I think it's going to dilute the premium and now they're just doing the. I like the idea. Tell me what you think about that idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because, and Dave, I don't know, I think I saw Dave in the crowd, one of our lead engineers. But we literally have been speaking about doing some somewhat similar kind of thing, and I was, I was going over it with them literally the day before Atom announced that. Um, that's the way that they do things, and I think it's a clever way of doing it, and I think that incentivizing people to use their registrar through um, through the popularity of their marketplace is definitely the right route for them to go, to get adoption. So it makes sense to me.
especially for what they have set up. Like you said, their marketplace, people want to register a name and they would get approved. I mean, a lot of people that know Adam started as the marketplace and these brandable. So it's right, makes sense. Now, you were saying you guys are thinking about doing something that's similar, like basically giving a discount if somebody registers a good name. Well, that sounds pretty cool. So you guys would decide, obviously, what's a good name. But I mean, guess when, and I know it hasn't, launched yet, but when someone goes into DNX.com, the registrar, and they're going to register a name, I guess right inside that registration path, it'll show like this is one that you'll get a discount on. Is that what you're anticipating or you're envisioning?
Yeah, probably. So I'd probably create some sort of tool. I wouldn't say valuation tool, but we'll say that just for uh, all given purposes. That if the registration meets the parameters, like above a certain either dollar amount or within a certain range, that follows my um, formula uh, for what a good hand registration would be, then essentially you would be able to get a discount on that registration. If it doesn't follow that formula, then you don't get the discount on that registration. And so, like, just to be totally transparent, what that does from like our side of things is the I believe that like from a registrar standpoint, the stronger name, like the better the names are that you have under the management, the more valuable your registrar is. So that's one, big thing. The other big thing is it adds a little bit of gamification to the platform. So, you know, people then start, challenging themselves to fit within those parameters in order to get discounts. Um, and then third and foremost is like, if we can help people register better names, then it's a win-win for everyone. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, all that. Hey, Josh, I think it's great because I think then folks are going to know one if it's a good name, and then they eventually start having better results when it comes to trying to sell them after they own them. So hey, so he gave me a buck discount on this name, and I like that anyway because they're already telling me they believe as a platform, and when they know who's running it, domain investors. But it's nice on a lot of levels. One, it's probably benefit the registrar because more likely to renew. And I say, why would they be more likely to renew? Well, if it truly is, um, a name, a better name, and then you even said, hey, we're giving you this discount, you get this discount on this registration a little bit. But if you're going to sell it in the aftermarket, you might put in a range because really, really giving them, turnkey full service of, we don't want you to think that because we think this is a better name, now go ahead and list it for 100,000 because you would like domain investors, especially ones who, obviously domain investor plan on selling it, buy this name. We believe it's attractive, and we're telling you that because we're giving you this discount. You sell it in the aftermarket. Here's a range that would be we think an appropriate price. And if they start getting results, of course, then that really boosts people wanting to come, register, get the discount, or and then of course it certainly helps the year later when they think, yeah, this one is I certainly want to renew. I think definitely it's just really just building an interesting longer term relationship. And you're right, it does sort of gamify. And if you had a list, I always think to myself, I'll put together a list of 50 that I want to register. And if you said these 10 are the ones that we think are the best, and plus we're going to give you a buck off on each one of these, well, then I think you already did a lot of work for me. Now that's what I wanted to do. Only get 10 of the 50. I'll go ahead and go with these. It's going to be less. So I like the whole idea. But I know,
Yeah. I mean, we could like, the other thing is that you say you're more likely to renew the better names if they're more valuable, right? That's one. But then also the if you were going to let them drop or expire, uh, you can monetize better names better. So if if we go down the route where we pay out let's say we paid out 60% of the expiry revenue to the owner, and we took 40%. The better the name, the more likely you are to get action within those names. So it works on, you know multiple levels.
And that was number 2 on the outline. If you're looking at the outline, dnxshow.com. But yeah, Josh, I was going to say, sharing expiring auction revenue with, I say, previous domain owner, because it is true you would be telling them, all right, it's okay to let it drop. We're not going to forget where it dropped from. And I'm sure you may end up saying, well, listen, if you don't let it drop, there's still things we can do as an auction, but that wouldn't be considered an expired auction because it's not expired. But I like all this stuff. I mean, I like it all. I mean, it's fucking awesome. And I think people, I mean, I'm really impressed with Adam, I got to say, and looking forward to what you're going to do, because at least Adam putting stuff in action. And speaking of that, we talked about that rental stuff that they were doing, and just putting it in actions fast. And then they updated the rental terms fast, and that was now, because I was like, they said it's 2% of the buy it now price, and I was thinking, geez, if somebody's selling a name for 50 grand, that means that the rental is a grand. And I was thinking that's not far enough. That's about what a lease to own payment would be. So I was thinking a rental payment. And listen, I'm just a guy who sit and talk about stuff. And I was thinking, I think a rental payment need to be 25, 30% of a lease to own price, like really make it attractive. Well, they came in and said, listen, if it's, they agree that it should be maybe 1% of these higher valued names that are over, say, 50 grand. I don't know. I don't have the exact, the numbers, but they posted it. But yeah, like if it's 100 grand name, it's going to be a 1%. Okay. So, and you as the owner of the domain can decide on what you want that rental percent to be, 1%, 1.5%, 2. And then furthermore, they made it so your whole portfolio, someone mentioned before, was your whole portfolio that, I think it was James, somebody mentioned last week that the whole portfolio needed to be, what do they call it? Locked in, or not locked in, opted in. But now they're letting you decide on which name by name basis how these rentals go. But it's just, nice to see that they're open to change things fast, and um, basically trying new stuff. So that's why, people are going to be excited about what DNX is doing, because, man, like, you're behind it, and we're thinking, people know, Josh, it's important you're here on Thursdays. I mean, people, especially coming up. So now we're going to lock you in for another year or two, because people like to know, all right, uh, we know some of his thoughts, and his thoughts about domain investing. Now, some of his thoughts about running a marketplace, his thoughts about running a registry. And you tell people it's in the pipeline, or we've already thought about that, and that's not, it's on the back burner. I mean, it's awesome. And this is a small, we know, small industry. I don't expect it to like boom up where now next year you run in a registry and it's like a registrar, and now we got, thousands of people in here. The more I talk, the more smaller the audience gets. Hey, all right, anybody want to join the conversation, come join us. You know the story. Let me look on this outline. We got tons of stuff to talk about. Boy, Goka, you know. So your friend James Booth sold that for 400 grand. Pretty good, huh? Do you know what he bought it for in 2025?
Yeah, like 7 or something like that.
Jiminy creaminy. I mean, that's something.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. What was that? Did you put a post on there uh, like, I don't know, like you were jealous? Or like something that's
I don't think
funny,
I
something
I don't think
funny.
I think I just reposted. I don't think I said anything.
Somebody posted something, but it's funny. Yeah. I mean, all of us can't see it. My wife knows you got a lot of four letter. Yeah. I wish like that. And I told, he sold GOKA for 400,000. My wife looked at me like, is he single?
Yeah.
Is James still
I mean,
single?
it's worth the thing. I love that James does like sells those names and then shares them. I love it. I mean, the guy is super nice and he's super talented. But there is some there is some downside to it because you then have people thinking that, I mean, let's just literally just use Goka, for example. That Goka.com is worth 400K. And I mean, this is I'll try and give some context here. This is a buyer that saw it priced at 360 on Atom and couldn't wait the next day for them to send a BitPay link. So just went ahead and paid 400 on Spaceship. So I think people need to understand how insane that is and realize that, you know, Goka.com, for all intensive purposes, is probably not a $400,000 name. Um, so I don't know. Take that as you will. I guess I'll probably take some heat for that, but because it just sold for 400K. But
So that
I
way they pay
guess,
with Bitcoin, obviously. Then they've been doing it with BitPay.
yeah. I mean, like if that was my name, I would price it at 250 and think that that was probably like shooting like for the stars a little bit. To be honest, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a 4L. It's a good CVCV. Doesn't have much usage. You know, I don't know. Like, what do you think? You agree with me? Disagree with me?
Oh, no, I think, right, that's asking a lot and then them paying. I can imagine, right, 360 was a lot. Okay, if I had it, yeah, I would offer it for a buck 50, 100,000 less than you said, because I think, listen, I look around, I know what these CVCVs sell for, and when you say it, sure, okay, GOKA, but it could be GOCA, and then also I look and think there even if there were just one company that I knew, boy, that's the one that needs it, I still would price it hoping they would come along, but I'd need to see a half dozen at least using it in a big way to ask 400,000. I mean that, but but I know he did it, but anyway, yeah. So it also, what I learned from the story that you just told, Josh, is these Bitcoin, sometimes money is, it's different when it's in crypto, and it still is that way, even though crypto's come down to earthly levels, and some coins have been massacred. But yeah, people, they want to just transfer it from their wallet. That's why when we were talking about Dick.com, this platform I built, and everybody go check this thing out. It's a serious thing. There, people will be doing a lot of transactions via USDC, via stable coins. Is it early? Well, if you're a regular merchant, sure. And if I was at a store or somewhere and they said we only accept crypto, well, then people are like, most everybody's like, well, I pay cash. There's still people that don't want to take just credit card. You only accept credit card. Well, that's bullshit. Or you only accept cash. Merchants, right? No, historically, you want to accept every way. Apple Pay, tap your card here. Google Pay, PayPal, whatever. But there's sometimes got to force the issue, and especially if you're not like, well, then you're going to go broke, because it certainly can. Like Hirsch is a merchant, but there's the future is going to be payments direct, no transaction fees. That's the whole point of crypto, in my opinion. It's not to do something nefarious with it. It's to understand. It's mostly like I saw farmers. Coinbase had that commercial 2 years ago. If you're a farmer and it's Sunday and this is an existing client of yours and they're like, listen, I need something sent out tonight on Sunday night, and hell with wiring and hell with the banks. If it's an existing customer and you already have trust amongst both of you, say, here's my wallet address. You can send me money to my wallet address. That way I can send you this few $100,000 worth of product that you need. And it's very very useful when it comes to trusted partners, trusted business partners. And then of course you're like, how much money you save and the time you save when it's big transactions. But anyway, so it is headed there. And anyway, I like to see this. So this guy paid 400,000 in Bitcoin on Spaceship, and James said, "Are you kidding? The guy paid, and I was paid, 20 minutes later or an hour later." Oh, that's just beautiful. But on then I'm thinking about it. So right now the marketplace at DNX is, it's really showing listings at Afternick, Cedo, Adam, and was there anything else? Was there other listings there from other places, Josh? Just those three?
Yeah,
Just
FD.
Oh, and FD. Um, in the future, are you going to have where there's some names that are listed just right on DNX, not somewhere else? So when people pay, they pay to DNX, and then the transfers from DNX, basically a little closer to what
Yeah,
Adam does.
most likely at some point. Yeah, it's been talked about a lot. Um, so I mean, yeah, at some point we don't have it like on the roadmap, but it's probably one of those things that will have to happen eventually. Um, so yeah, we get a lot of requests pretty frequently from some of the other marketplaces that you know and love to be included on DNX. Um, but it has to make sense. And for us, our biggest partner is Afternick, and everyone has their names listed on Afternick anyway. So, you know, getting all that same inventory on a platform that is not as popular and doesn't compensate us as well makes no sense.
So you're not into working for free, okay?
No, I'm not into that. Not anymore anyway. I've done that for too long.
Yeah,
Actually, I still do it, but
I know
I
we
don't
all
love it.
do. Anybody want to talk about Kookaroo Chicken or Boston Market? Come on up. This company's been out of business forever, I think. Anyway, hey, all right.
Speaking
So
of DNX,
yeah,
if you want to like figure out just like how many great names like CVCVs that are much better than a name than what was the name? I can't remember whatever the name was. Like just go and have a look at names on CVCV under 150K. I mean, you look at stuff on there like nite.com, soko.com, like insane names that have been on the market forever, way less than 400 grand. So,
yeah,
you know, um, you just my message to everyone is you got to understand that James has an insane portfolio full of names that are priced, you know, pretty high. It's and it's still surprising how often he sells these names. So if you think that you can replicate it, you can't. Just to be quite clear.
yeah. And that would maybe GO at the beginning. That Goka was somebody with the KA couldn't get KA, and they're like, "We'll change our name to Goka." I have no idea. Let's see. Let me see where that goes right now.
No, it's some like developer based out of Cyprus, I think. Casino is in the casino slash real estate business.
Interesting. We were about ready to represent a guy that does exactly that in Cyprus, runs casinos, and he registered a domain and was doing business on this domain name. And then there's the most well-known casino out of that area. I forget, they run hotels, casinos, all sorts of stuff. I can't think of the
Yeah,
name.
sounds like it might be the same guy, honestly.
And this guy, yeah. So I mean, had to change names. Maybe he's changing it to this. But boy, oh boy, I see on Adam, GOXA is for sale. That's what it said. But then I click on it, and it goes and it says 404 not found. Because I went to Goka, and and it's still on an Adam Lander, and it says it gives these other names, and you click on GOXA, and it says not found. What a bitch. No link there. GOMU. Yeah, I don't know. None of the links are working on that page if you go to GOKA.com. So I'm going to try one other thing. because they're all going to domains.atom. Let me just take out that domains dot and see if it takes you to the name. Yeah, so they got inappropriate links there that are taking you to 404 pages. You can actually just go to, um, that's a bitch though. You're a domain company and that's the last thing. But it's like you got problems. Anyway, they got all the links are going to domains dot, I'm sorry, yeah, domain.atom.com name it. Anyway, so I went to Goxa, and I see that's 35,699. That's GOXA. If I was naming a company and I had to use one or the other, I think we just saved fucking 370,000. We're Goxa, everybody. Did I say Goka earlier? We're Goxa. Are you silly? Okay, so check out our outline, dnxshow.com. Hey, I haven't been looking at the screen. I'm sure there's people that are dying to get up here. Hey, Darcy, I was going to comment on one of your comments. So, look, I act like I'm in charge here. Yeah, he's like, I have all days. I'm busy. All right. Well, I'm bringing you up here. I'm bringing you up here. It's like go out in the audience, and it's like, all right. Anyway, it was. I'll get to it since we're talking about it. But Darcy was saying, what's the best deal on the aftermarket right now? And Josh, you said, I don't know. Tell me. And he's like, you're the one with the inside information. But what do you think? What areas have the best deals on the aftermarket right now? Dot what? Like, is there, yeah, I don't care if you think an extension like .org or .net or .io or no specific names related to this. I mean, what areas? Is there any good deals on the aftermarket right now? I know it's general, but trying to just give some tips to investors here.
Are you asking me?
Well, yeah, since you jumped up here, yeah, you first, and then we'll see if Josh can,
Well,
sound smarter. Go ahead.
the only reason I posted that is because I sent the same question to Josh in the DMs and he just ignored me. So I was like, I better ask everybody else.
I understand. So you were asking the question, so I don't expect you to have the answer. But Josh, you're an expert. What are some areas? A bunch of people.
I don't think Darcy should be. Darcy knows full well that I respond to his messages more than just about anyone else. He's lucky. He's lucky that I like him. Twoword.coms is what I'm going to go with. Twoword.coms.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I see Nameably came up here. He's saying 100. I guess that means 100%. I'm just kidding. Hey, Nameably, what's up? What's going on?
I'm good. How are you? Hope everybody's well as well.
Yep, thanks. What do you think? Where's
No,
where's the deals in the aftermarket?
I agree with Josh. 2 words. There's plenty of inventory on DNX that have been mispriced. I think oneword.co's, oneword.io's, because of the whole AI run, they have kind of been forgotten. I think the last one in auction was alpha.io for like 3.8K. I thought that was quite cheap.
Did you say alpha?
Not with a PH, but with a F.
Okay.
Alpha.
I think that was taken in like 400 or 450 extensions. And then I would say sort of like smart brandables, like on the premium side. Sometimes those are mispriced as well. So I'm talking about stuff like solutions, but like a soul. So it's solutions. These type of things you might be able to get underpriced.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's interesting too. And alfalfa, huh? Sulfur. Okay, Alpha, ALFA. I love that show, Alf. So yeah, I was thinking twoword.coms. Well, that's nothing new. That's like some of the oldest stuff in the book, but still think there's some value out there. Where would you look for twoword.coms? Nameably, where would you look for twoword.coms?
Nowhere else besides DNX.
Yeah, I noticed that. Put a
Nameably,
bug
my
into my
boy right
system.
there. Oh.
Josh,
knows
where would you
he's at.
look? DNX and where else?
Oh man, Dom DB for me all day. Just joking. DNX is the only place to go.
Hey, well, we're raising hell now. So, what did Sav do to you exactly? That and most people, I hear bad things about Sav, but unless I'm listening to a D&W podcast, and then of course they sponsor his stuff, so he acts like, well, that's a great place. But what about
They do.
what about Sav? Yeah, I mean,
I'll give you the full rundown real
Yeah.
quick. I sold a domain that was expired and needed to be restored. I went in to restore it, but you can only restore domains on SAV v2. It doesn't work on SAV v1. But every time I went to restore the name on SAV v2, the payments wouldn't work. So I let Spaceship know that I was working on getting the domain restored. And a few days went by, and Sav being Sav, they said a couple of times like, oh yeah, it's fixed, and try again. So I tried again, didn't work. I tried 3 different payment cards, and each time it didn't work. So I kept having to reopen the ticket after they close it. Eventually, too much time had passed. I felt bad for the buyer. I told Spaceship to cancel the transaction, and if I got the domain back, I would let them know. So canceled the transaction. And then then like the next day I was kind of just like, fuck this. Kind of sick and tired of it. I don't want to deal with it anymore. I just told Sav, hey, too much time has passed. It's too late. Forget about it. And they were like, oh, sorry for the inconvenience. And then 2 days went past, and then I got a message from them out the blue saying that they restored the domain and charged my card. And I was like, what? I was like, that's insane. You can't, after I say don't worry about it anymore, you can't just then tell me that you've charged my card without authorization and you've restored the domain. Sure enough, they charged my card that morning. And the renewal, by the way, is $1,100. And I told them, I was like, no, and the charge
They registered with the SEC
like,
as a financial advisor, essentially.
I told you
and
before,
Nice.
I no longer want
not
it.
going to be the last one. It's just like this. The world is moving on chain. It's these agents are going to be do more and more and more. And yeah, very
like, oh,
very
sorry,
exciting
we can't
time.
do
And yeah,
anything.
for
It's
many
like,
reasons,
it's
you got my
non-refundable
wheels
at this
spinning.
point.
Where what could be.
So I said, hey, you need to refund this, and otherwise I'm going to have to initiate a chargeback. I didn't authorize this transaction. Blah 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 blah. I haven't even bothered to see if I can get that previous buyer back on board, but honestly, I've got so many other things going on. It's the least of my concerns. The only thing I am a little concerned with now is like the 250 names that I have at Sav. It's like, I mean, I've initiated a chargeback, and then I'm pretty sure that Amex will take care of that because I have all the proof basically showing that I told them that I no longer wanted it, and that they charged my card without authorization. But I got 250 odd names at Sav that kind of feel like they're gonna, I don't know, hopefully they don't like take them hostage or some stuff. Fortunately, they're none of them are particularly valuable, but they're all mostly like alternative TLDs, lots of dot energies and stuff that sells. I sell quite a lot of names from those batches, so I don't know. It is what it is. Again, least of my worries.
That's a big renewal.
Well,
Go ahead,
Unstoppable
Darcy.
would take hostage.
What'd you say, Darcy?
I said we know that Unstoppable would take them hostage.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly.
These companies are tough stuff here. Yeah, listen, they have a chance, when you file a chargeback to say, oh, look at this situation and realize, okay, so without it hurting them too much. So, they know the situation. They said, no, yeah, so we got a little aggressive there. We charged them. Let's go ahead and reverse this. They'll be okay. They can take it up, the registry. Everything will be okay. Just do the right thing. I mean, because it's done in such a fast manner. They, as long as but you'll get real good indication if there's any resistance to a chargeback. But yeah, be hot.
I doubt. I honestly, I doubt they. I'm assuming they probably won't even respond to it, right? I mean, they don't respond to anything else.
That's a bitch when they don't, because then it drags out to the maximum amount, and then it defaults will go in your favor. But it's nice for them and for you. It's good. It's better for them to respond, right? I mean, to their processors to say, yes, let's go ahead and take care of this. But obviously, I didn't. All I read is people commenting for the last year or two on, whether here on Name Pros or on X, saying, I can't get a hold of anybody, and then they mention the owner's name. I don't know. He's this and he's not. Whatever. I mean, but yeah, it sounds like you only have your reputation in this space. But as I mentioned, if you I'm not mad at the people that, but like I said, over DNW, over at Domain Sherpa, get so many sponsors. That's part of the deal. You say, here's the 2 sentences that we say each show, because they paid us to say this. But it's weird, people talk about over at the ICA conflict of interest because we have different members. There's nothing more than there's only very few, say, news outlets. I don't know what DN Journal does, and I mean, I love Ron. When I say love Ron, I want to be doing something with Ron at NamesCon. Boy, who would have thought the likely partners in something? But anyway, I say that because Ron him and his wife Diane, so nice to me at the last ICA meetup, saying, Todd, you have a terrible, dirty mouth, but you're funny. You were funny. But okay, so I don't know. I think he has sponsors there too, but I never see him, basically kissing anybody's ass. Ron's a tough guy. But okay, so anybody else want to, talk about anything?
Well, I've been in. I would say I've been in the space for quite a while. I've never received, and I've launched a few products, sold a few names. I would say most people know who I am in the space. I've never heard from Ron, which is interesting.
Yeah, other than seeing him at the things too. Well, he hasn't, I'll say, reach out.
Hey, so
yeah. Hey, Adam.
I just wanted to comment on Andrew Alleman. I think his most recent podcast, he actually changed his sponsor, No More Sav. So I think that's finally done.
Yeah, I want to check out his next one. He's got one coming up with Nat Cohen, who's going to be the new president of the ICA, which I consider Nat a friend. I talk to him weekly. I talked to him today. That's great. And then I guess Ryan McKegney is the VP. But Camila's going to join. Those 3 are going to join Andrew on the next DNW, one of the new podcasts. But yeah, thanks, Adam. And Adam, you're going to be at NamesCon this year, right? You were last year, and I know you're close by there, but you're going to be there this year?
Yeah, I'll definitely be there. It's just about an hour drive. So, but even if it wasn't, I would still fly there. It's pretty much the only thing I do every year, domain wise, unless there's a local meetup, the South Florida meetups. We have those every so often. I'll go to those. But yeah, NamesCon's always fun. It's fun to network and, talk to everybody.
Yeah. And I have met a lot of the folks in person. I haven't met you, Adam, so I can't wait to go. It's me. And I walk up to you, and I walk up like Paul Lynn, shaking my head, if you know who he is. Anyway, you'll think, so what, Todd? It's not a very big deal to meet you. And I'm going to go, wipe that smirk off your face. But no, Adam, I do look forward to meeting you. There's going to be, Josh says he's on the fence, but once he realizes some of the bullshit that's going to happen there, and I imagine Drew Rosner said he was going to Miami, I guess a week or two before. I only know because I watched Sherpa, and I saw Drew say that he was going to be in Miami. Wasn't sure if he could come back, but now that I know he's judging, He's one of the judges on Rick's Beanstalk Challenge, and he's an advisor on the NamesCon board. He'll be there. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to show up. He's going to think people want to see him. So he'll show up, but I know it's just going to be a lot more folks at this one than last year, I think, only because there's some pretty exciting things that they're going to do day one and day two, and I know they're going to be making some announcements this week. But yeah, I was listening behind the scenes to some of the things going on, but it's going to be a lot of fun. It's miserable right now in that area. My mom's down there taking care of her sister, basically. They're both having a good time. But my mom and my aunt, they're in West Palm Beach, and it's like 94, feels like 108, and it's just hot and sweaty. My mom's mad as a mother. Yeah, Josh, what is it like at your house right now? Your spot up there in Jacksonville, what's the weather like?
It's very humid around this time of the year. Hot and humid, 95 degrees, and very humid. Yeah, so not the nicest weather to be outside in, to be honest.
Damn, and you do your hair, and then it gets all curly and stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's all right if you go to the beach though. Get a little breeze. Yeah.
Well, hey, anybody got humans up here on stage? I know Darcy didn't have any. Darcy, any sales this past 2 years?
Nah, it's been pretty dry for me the last 3 months, I would say.
No, I didn't say did you get laid. I said, sell any domains?
Neither.
I'm married too. Let's stick together. Hey, so nameably, any sales in the last year?
My most recent sale, I think, was a 4-letter, which was LUIN, but I think this was a month ago.
That's a cool name. I like it. Your movement. Hey, so what'd you sell it for? And how'd you pick that baby up? I know it wasn't a hand register, and I don't know why I say hand, but yeah, tell us a little just quickly about when and where did you buy that, and what did you unload it for?
So I think it's sold for 21K on Adam. I picked it up a year before that for 2,200, so like a 10x.
Very nice. I was going to guess 1,500 on the pickup, but that would have been cheap. So I was anywhere from that up to 3,500, 4,000, because I know that's a cool name. But yeah, so no, nice one. And if you price them you got good letters or it's pronounceable, you can't just price them at 4,500. People will come in and pick them off, but you need to price them like he did there, and then you just be patient, and he didn't have to wait too long. Very nice. Adam, did you come off of your cold streak? This guy didn't sell a name in like 11 days, and he starts threatening people at the fucking local. Anyway, Adam, what's going on?
It was a peaceful ritual. So, no, I mean, I sold the name a few days ago. It was just a really small sale, like 1,000, but it was a hand register I held for probably like 15, 20 years. And I was actually going to let it drop this year, and someone bought it. So, that's fine. Other than that, I think I just had one other. I had a .org, exalted.org I sold this month. But yeah, I mean, my typical is, like 2 to 3 sales a month, which fits with my portfolio size, just 1,000 names. So it's works for me, but of course you want more sales. You need that adrenaline rush. So in the meantime, I'm just buying more names. And, I was telling myself, I'm going to spend a little less. I'm going to concentrate on better names, but I ended up just spending a lot more money than I normally would at this time of the year. So, but I've been buying some better names, mostly non.com. And I've been buying a lot of .ios lately, and I've been refocusing, buying some more .gg since that's been doing pretty well, and delving into some of the other TLDs that I haven't done as much in, like .dev. I've always done .app, but just smaller pickups, and that's it.
.si?
No .sis.
Hey, we're going to get into pickups in just a second, but Adam, that's interesting. That .devs, because I'm seeing companies buying. But yeah, no, I'm glad trying to get your sales before you mention them on Ish's room, taking the shine off his room on Saturday. That's my main goal today. That's the only reason we do this fucking Thursday show. Try to just cut into his stuff. Hey, no, Adam. So what was that $1,000 one that you sold? That's interesting. You hand registered it so long ago, but what was the name of that one?
Yeah, it's luaprogramming.com. LUA is a programming language, and I registered I think 4 LUA names when the language was new, and I let 2 drop a couple years ago, and then I kept 2, the better ones, and I had both of these. I turned off the renew for them, and they were going to expire, I think, in October of this year. So, and I even had this one listed on notrenewing.com for $99. So I'm glad that they didn't see it there.
Yeah, we're going to talk about pickups in just a second. I know you both, I think you and Emil, we both mentioned .ios, and I know Mike Seiger was asking people a year ago, hey, if you got any, let me know. And I'd love to hear people talk about their negotiation with that guy. Hey, Mike, if you're able to let us know what IOs you picked up, we're going to get to that second acquisitions in just a second. But Josh, here's the drum roll. Tell us about your sales this last month or two. Anything that you can share. I mean, there's something there. What'd you sell, Josh?
Yeah, I've had some sales. Mentioned the LTO last week, I think. Had some smaller sales as well. Just like the standard sub 5K kind of sales. Civicreach.com for 3K. Prova, PROVA.co for 4K. SuperiorServicing.com 4K. Museplatform.com 5K. BetterHedge.com 4K. Just sold ampersand.ai for 70.
70 what?
70.
17?
Big smackaroos. 70.
Jiminy creaminy.
Yeah. But things are going fine. I mean, again, like I have a pretty large portfolio now, so it's it's not atypical for me to have numerous sales. So if you only have a few hundred names, you're not going to see them as regularly.
And how do you do your renewals? I mean, do you say like this time to transfer these? Like you said, some of that are a registrar, you want to transfer them. Do you do it monthly? I mean, 12 times a year or more, every month, or even more frequent than that? How do you handle?
I just renew and normally in bulk at the start of every month, on the first of every month. Typically they're at GoDaddy and my account manager renews them all, but I just renew them as they come. So yeah.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I mean, most of my stuff's at GoDaddy, and the end of each month I tell them, please renew all domains that expire in July 2026 for 1 year, except, and he knows, and I'll put it except if I don't want to renew them, and then he knows keep the renewal turned off. And we've been doing this for fucking so long, he knows. I still will send the same thing, even though he knows what to do. And if I don't send, that means just renew them all for 1 year, keep the renewal off. I mean, and yeah, it is true when you drop a name or when you don't renew it, if someone puts a bid on it, they remove it from your account faster than if there's no bids on it. Is that correct? Does anybody know? I think it's correct, but I want somebody else to. You guys on stage? You guys don't do business with GoDaddy? Come on.
I transfer mine out before I renew on GoDaddy. I don't think I've ever renewed a name there.
What a tough guy. What mean people. Hey, so where do you go? What's your registrar of choice? Dynadot?
Yeah, I go Dynadot for majority of my names. I also do Spaceship for mostly alternate TLDs that don't have fast transfer at all. So there's no reason to keep them at a fast transfer enabled registrar. And that's it. I pretty much combine. There's a few TLDs that, you know, obscure TLDs that, you know, I'll just go to a separate registrar like Hostinger. I think for a couple, I have like 4.fi names. So they're at Hostinger, and, you know, I'll have a couple, I have like 1.im or something that might be at Pork Bun, but pretty much everything is at Dynadot and then Spaceship under that.
Yeah, you mentioned Hostinger. I guess that CEO is going to be at, the Cloud Fest Americas. So you'll want to run into him since you do business with him. I don't do anything with him. I got an account there, but
Yeah, not exactly his biggest customer, but
yeah. But I'm sure the way you dress, he'll think, geez, this guy's something. Hey, Mike Seiger, thanks for joining us. What do you know the answer to that GoDaddy question, and what else is up?
I didn't hear the GoDaddy question. I was going to comment that I think you and Josh are funny how you just tell your GoDaddy reps that you're like, yeah, just renew everything that's coming due. I'm like, isn't it just faster? And don't you have more control if you just sign into your DCC and then just select the stuff that's due to expire in the next month and hit renew? Like, it's so fast. I don't get why you tell your rep to do that.
Some of us just don't get the interaction in our personal lives. We just want to talk to people. Because the rep gets credit for doing it.
Do they get credit?
Yeah, they like to do it. Yeah, they do.
Like to do it.
No, they believe me. They get credit. My guys, he would know. I would do it myself, but they do somehow get credit for putting it in the system themselves.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe I'll ask my guy if he wants to get credit then.
For your 5 names per month, no sweat.
I know. I got literally 5 to 10 per month. That's it.
But
I mean, I have mine on auto renew. I don't even have to talk to anybody or do anything.
I know, but even auto renew makes me nervous. Like, I just renew them before it hits auto renew. But yes,
I don't. You guys. I'll tell you what, Mike. I do it because I know I used to always do auto renew. I've only just started. My rep has only just started doing it on the 1st of every month because there's certain discounts that you can get by adding certain promos for certain TLDs and stuff. And
yeah,
I always forget, and or if it's on auto renew, those don't get applied. So when he does it, he saves, and at my scale now, it saves a considerable amount of money. So
totally, I get that now. Yeah,
and Josh, they do get credit. Go ahead, Eric.
You can get them for $2.50 less if you transfer from the Spaceship. Right, Spaceship when you transfer is $7.99.
Oh my God, RF! Like, I've got better things to do than play that transfer game.
1,000 domains. That's like $2.5 you're gonna save.
Yes, that's true. I know. I laugh because I don't have the kind of portfolio that you guys have, so I don't have to worry about that. Thank goodness.
Yeah, but Todd, I know the answer to your question. So what happens is up until day 30, nothing gets removed from your account. On day 30, if there's a bid prior to the 30th day or on the 30th day, well, then that domain gets removed from your account. And then if there's no bids on the 30th day, but a bid like on the 32nd day, then after that bid is done on the 32nd day, the domain is immediately moved from your account within, I think it's minutes or whatever it is. So it's basically day 30 is a cutoff. Now, whether it's the end of day 30 or the beginning of day 30, I always forget which it is. So just take it as day 29, end of day 29, make sure it's renewed. Otherwise, there's a danger of it leaving your account if there's a bid. And, anytime after, if there's a bid, it'll be removed from your account.
Okay, thanks for the info. Thanks for knowing.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad Ryan's here. I had something on the outline that I was going to talk about, and that was about the DNW potentially. He's talking about maybe selling it to name pros. We'll get to that in just a second. But Ryan, thanks for joining us. What's going on?
Yeah, no problem. Gifting it to name pros potentially. The more marketplace, the better. We've got like 100 going live, so we can afford to can one off. So yeah, it's all good. Living the dream.
Okay, well, so I don't know why I got a couple accounts that I voted, and it still shows because Ryan actually had on basically on there and said, hey, what was it? What is it? Oh, you can vote. Do you think it's best home for it for him to gift it to Name Pros? And it was a hell yeah or an F no. And I put hell yeah for and I still see 22 votes. And I voted on my ABC Productions account and from my other Dick website, that's my other X account. I got 15 X accounts. But anyway, it doesn't look like it's updating the votes. What do you see, 50-50?
I don't understand the oops, somebody's beeping, but I don't understand the synergy there. Like why would that be good to give to Name Pros?
Well, I guess well, we can't now because people have voted no, but basically the idea being, so maybe Page Howe, we're looking to do something with him. We offered it to Lee and Leanne. The idea for Name Pros is obviously they want a private marketplace, right? They want landers, they probably want that kind of thing. They're very valuable. I've got a case study coming out about the XQO we auctioned off for $1 and it sold for 15K. So yeah, no, I think for us, if we give this stuff away that we don't really need, there's more competition. It's a good thing for the market.
To see that through.
Money from DNW.
I love it.
I think I said about it.
Last question. It's just more of a catch-all for you. Is there anything Chad? Is there anything we didn't ask you about today? Anything you were hoping to talk about that we didn't get to yet?
Net was about $7,500 profit in a year. Now, bearing in mind, we spent like
I think for me as a
40 to buy it.
Going on an old man now on the other half, it's like being 30 years. You kind of look back at your entrepreneurship of 30 years. I got a couple of kids. I'm trying to get entrepreneurship and stuff. Being,
and so we closed it down, not for any
cancer survivor, kind of on the other end. It's like
who are the people
again
in the industry that's moving and shaking.
Respect your time.
Quite realized Josh was going to come in.
I think, and if you have the ability to do what's right, do what's right. Right? Like, reputations really are an important factor in here. You might get a win on the short term, but people remember who you are. Again, I've had friends in this industry for 25, 30 years. They're my best friends. Looking back, when I started, I'm like, I want to be around good people in good situations. And like, would you change it? And so I think like when you
yeah, I mean, I had my time in Name Pros years back, and I don't know. There wasn't much. My issue with them is transparency was an issue. You know, there's it just felt like it was more of a business than people were actually caring about domains.
Hey Ryan, did that thing close, that $15,000 deal for the?
Yeah, they paid for whatever his name, 4-letter chap paid $15,000 through USDC through Junkyard. So Junkyard's fully enabled. You can literally play with any degenerate crypto coin you want through the platform. They completed like literally the moment it closed. And so, yeah, Name Pros basically marketed it for free. It was on our website. It went down by $500 a day. And then they were like, look, let us market it for you. And I was like, okay, cool. And I had buyers lined up at 13.5 grand. It was at 14. It went on Name Pros and it sold for 15,000. So we were $1,500 up. We paid $14,000 for it. So basically anything you see on Junkyard is margined by 10% or 20% on what we pay. So that is line items on a spreadsheet, because in the background, we've got banks that basically want us to liquidate a ton of shit. I mean, I don't know how many domains we've sold this week, but through Junkyard, I would guesstimate at 1,000 domains this week alone, maybe more. There's 2 portfolios just listed now with 1,500 names or something. We are trialing something at the moment with an OG domainer who has 30,000 names. And basically, we've gone in, we've sorted it out. What we're going to do is provide you an infrastructure so that you can buy domains. We'll take out the peaks and troughs for you. So we'll manage renewals. We'll give you a bank card. If you move to our ICANN accreditation, our domain brain will work out where the best place is to sell it. We'll auto outbound. It will do everything. You can have a bank card. You'll get money every month based on the average over time. And then you can just focus on buying domains. Don't worry about renewals or anything else. You're going to pay a service for that. And you have the best brokers, the best technology, the best outbounders, the best everything that you can have in the domain world. And watch what happens this year when you add in domain monetization. Everything we've got, goodbye everyone. Like in terms of GoDaddy and everything else, they'll be gone. We're going to use them as a savings account. We're going to do what Elon Musk has done to avoid tax, which is basically buy a shit ton of shares in GoDaddy and then go to the bank and borrow more money to buy more shares. And then basically 18 months guaranteed. We will reverse cannibalize them. That's the plan. And so, yeah, watch this space.
I hope you have better luck with that stock than I did. I was there at the IPO. It's fucking.
Wait, can you go into more details about that?
Go ahead, Ryan.
Which part? GoDaddy or?
No, what you're doing is interesting. So
So we have a domain.
It's going to be like a background registrar. It's that you're managing, but it's not consumer facing, right?
We're managing everything. So we're the only place that you can go with a dollar domain, and we can monetize, we can sell. That goes right up to 7-figure domains, 8-figure domains. I mean, I'm working on 3 projects that are not necessarily domain related. One's internet infrastructure, but essentially we will give you a bank card. You move your domains to our ICANN accredited registrar, and you do renewals through us. We'll give you a bank card. We will take care of all your renewals. You want money, you just basically go to the platform and say, I need money. Your card will be topped up. You spend it however you like. It will be deducted off your sales as and when agreed. It's essentially like a flexible overdraft, if you like, with a bank card that we charge 0% interest for. And yeah, that's it. So if you're good at buying domains and you don't want to manage infrastructure and renewals and all that stuff, where one month you do 30,000, next month you're in poverty, then this is the platform for you. And our domain brain will work out whether your asset should be monetized, as in parked, or it should be sold. Ultimately, you can have a choice in what you do, but whether it's selling, buying, monetizing, we have the technology.
That's cool. Is this the platform that was going to be DNA.com, but is now going to be something else?
Yeah. Well, so it's Domain Brain. So we've got a system in the background that does it, but it's not going to be called Domain Brain. We are going to be called, it's going to be DNA. It might be ID.com. It might be Identity. There's several we're looking at. We may be internet.com. We're in, basically that's one of the projects I'm working on. We're doing a 70 million raise for buying internet.com, buying a DNS infrastructure that predates Cloudflare, that basically we're looking to buy presearch.com. That's a decentralized search engine. We're going to do a token raise to essentially create a safe, decentralized internet that goes toe-to-toe with Google, because basically it's unacceptable in 2026 that you still get spam email, phishing, all this kind of shit that is solved with bank approved, it's solvable. And so that's one of the big projects I'm working on that will do something. There'll be a big announcement later this year, but I don't know whether we'll call internet.com or identity.com or ID.com or some of these other things. I don't know. Ideally, I would bring across my finance company, falbros.com, and that would be the company, because that's family and stuff. So I don't know if we can port across because it's regulated by the FCA and stuff like that. So I don't know what would be called, but expect me to be everywhere on TV and everything else. And
you should just buy DNX.com. You can get the ICANN accreditation with it.
How much do you want for
it? 10 million.
That's a little bit punchy. But if you include DNS.org, if you get through to, we pay 20 grand for it. If you tell them that we can do a deal, I don't know about 10 million, unless you're making 2 million a year profit. But no, I like DNX, it's good. But the thing is we wanted to be digital candy all along. And that was, in terms of my thing, my 2 brothers will take over domains fully within the next couple of months. And I'll be working on websites and other stuff that's more interesting and more in line with my skill set. And expect like collabs with Mr. Beast and some shit like that that's coming out later in the year. It's part of the scavenger hunt thing that I pulled back on because we weren't quite ready. But yeah, we're going mainstream and everyone's going to know about it, and that's good for the industry.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, DNS, I was offered DNS.org as well from the guy that was on LinkedIn. But Drew snapped it up first.
I could have got the whole portfolio and I was like, I'm in an iron and whatever. And that's the mistake. Like, that was a mistake. Because DNS.org, when you couple it with internet.com and presearch.com and all these things, it would be quite cool. But the problem with Drew is basically he doesn't necessarily, well, I really like him, right? But he's not willing to concede on stuff that's going to make the market a better place. He owns it. He paid 20 grand for it. He wants literally 300 million or something absolutely ridiculous. Now, ultimately, we're going to buy him out at some point anyway. So it's mine. It's just he's a caretaker at the moment. But if he was reasonable, then it'd be good to have that for the name service.
I thought he wanted to grow the pie.
I mean, I'm sure I could get you DNS.org if you wanted to. If you paid 10 mil for DNX, You could probably get DNS.org included in there for you.
Yeah, this is a good Josh. Hold on, I gotta say, Josh is awesome. Why the fuck is this echoing? Hey, did you just come up with a prize? Because let's talk offline. But Josh is like, yeah, here it is. But no, that's not a bad deal, Ryan. Let's face the music. I wanted to ask Nameably. He had his hand up. Just a question. We love the conversation. You guys are going to keep it going. But Nameably, what did you want to say?
No, I was just going to say, if you want DNSS.com, it's on DNX. Not my name.
You're liable to get kicked off the stage now. I'm just kidding.
It's not my name.
Hey,
if you've got, that might go well. DNSSS might go well with Internet TTT. I wonder if they're both available.
Well, Ryan, so internet.com. Okay, but still, Domain Junkyard is live right now, and that is also, I mean, in the simplest terms, you can go there and you can buy names on Domain Junkyard, and you only mark a lot of names that you've picked up for maybe just 10%, basically wholesale pricing, I consider, and you're now accepting all types of crypto. So Domain Junkyard, besides all the other things you're doing, it is a marketplace where people can buy some great names at wholesale pricing.
Yeah, it's digitaljunkyard.com. Essentially what happens is all our inventory starts. So the moment we acquire it, it goes on Junkyard, and the moment it's due to expire, it goes on Junkyard. So it's a bit like holidays. When you book a holiday, it's cheap if you book early and it's cheap if you book late. Don't book in the middle. That's the idea behind it. But yeah, essentially, you can pay in meme coins if you want. That's completely cool as well. But yeah, it's this. We're just trialing something today. There's 2 portfolios on there. We'll see how that lands. But yeah, 3letters.coms, and we're going to do more with name pros because we want floor prices across everything. CVCV, 4letter.com, 3letter.com, the whole lot. What is it? 2letter.com. Let's start at $1. Let's see where the market goes.
Yes, digitaljunkyard.com for those listening. But Ryan, when you mentioned that you were, doing this, I call ultra price discovery. Basically, I like it. We know, okay, well, there's not one platform that has everybody looking, and it even does marketing for the end user, and it's just true price discovery. Everybody's there, but you're, working with name pros to do this. Josh said, yeah, I like the idea. And of course you told Josh, hey, come on, let's do this thing, bring some names. I'm going to do it with a few names that I think some premium 4-letter. Once we, I see that you guys get this rolling, you want to do it, I'll do the, right in line. It's like, I think it's important that a lot of us do it. I mean, just to, basically, this is what I've wanted to see others do. So I'm willing to do it a little bit, and then I'm going to let some names go. $1, no reserve, see where they end up. And you just have to, basically on the seller side, fulfill your obligation. You're willing to do it at no reserve. But Ryan, what's on the horizon that you said? CVs and what else?
Yeah, well, what I was going to do probably this week is I've got some 2letter.UKs that I paid like £2,000 for. I'm going to batch up 5 of them or something and start with $1 and see what the market is for them. Potentially that's going to go to zero pretty quick because the UK market's garbage, but that's £10,000 worth of domains that will start at $1. And we'll try different things. We'll try social media handles, we'll try websites. But yeah, across the board, where is the market at? Let's just get out. I don't know why. I like the NWE, right? I like the idea of stuff. But ultimately, if you want a proper liquid market, you have to be prepared to put stuff on there for $1, right? If you believe that the domains are growing and they're appreciating assets, then you have to believe that. And I've also got this thing where we've got a domain academy that there's like 50 people in there. Now, basically, I reckon I can take anyone within an hour who's doesn't even know what a domain is. And I reckon I'm making 20,000 a month. With domains. I've got this thing called the Bible, and literally within an hour or so, anyone who watches the video and follows the Bible can literally make 20 grand a month. It's so basic, it's unbelievable. And there's a lot of, I've just been in Josh's DNX Discord server, and there's a bunch of Discord servers, there's a bunch of WhatsApp group where there's inventory flying around all the time, and all you have to do is scoop it out, put some data behind it from the Bible, and then go in and buy it. And we did an auction. We did 74 names the other day that we paid $1 for each domain, and they sold for 60. I think so. We're only place where you can go in and get a portfolio. So say there's 1,000 domains there. If you buy one domain, it's $129. If you buy more than one, you can get them for $69 or $69 each. If you buy the whole portfolio, you might get it for $40. But it's the only place where you can go in and select the domains you want, and you get discounted on volume. So that technology is really cool. and it's kind of gamified and stuff. As more people, as we promote Junkyard more, it will become more apparent. But that kind of thing is super cool, and yeah, and there's just going to be more stuff coming online from us, and it's good for the community, right? I think it's really important.
Yeah, we got to find out now where to follow along. I want to say, if you could teach Darcy how to make enough money to buy a sandwich per month, just a sandwich, maybe like a stromboli, that'd be a challenge. Hey, so Ryan, where do people see you talk about this? Because I've been waiting for
it's coming.
The same place. We don't want to go to the same place. I don't want to miss the stuff. You got a lot going on, and I love that what you just mentioned about portfolios. I mean, I've worked with you, and that is, when someone wants to buy a portfolio, they want a better price. It only makes sense, and you as the seller should understand that, and most sellers do and are willing to work with the buyer. The more you buy, the more you save. So I love that.
Here's the thing. Portfolios, no one ever sees portfolios, right? I bought a portfolio with 15,000 domain names for $850,000, right? And you add in your years from yours. I was in for $1 million, right? Unofficially, this isn't correct or true, but martialarts.com may have been one of the domains, and that may have had an offer of $400,000. May or may not be true. It may have included dogs.org as well. May or may not be true. But the point is, no one gets to see the portfolios. And these are big companies that are owned by private equity and venture capital and have hit targets. And lo and behold, there's a community, there's a select few who get to view the portfolios. I may or may not be one of those people. However, you can expect an alternative for Digital Junkyard wasn't built for consumers. It's built for an alternative to GoDaddy for people that want to liquidate domain, or not people, but companies that have shit tons of expiring inventory that want it out in the market. And our job is to basically act on behalf. So I guess it kind of like, if you look at Rally Road, or you look at D3, right, it is not in the best interest of the investor or the buyer, right? And as soon as you accept that, it's a great idea. I was there with Bob in Spain. When you accept that and you go, no, our responsibility to ensure anyone buying a domain is not underwater on day one, but they make profit, then you've cracked the market. And our sole focus is we don't give a shit who owns the domain. My job is to make sure I bring it on platform for as cheap as possible, so you can buy it today and sell it tomorrow. If you've got the fastest finger first, you'll get the inventory. And so there's a bunch of companies that don't want to use GoDaddy, don't want to use network solutions. They're all shit, as is Sado, unfortunately. And they're going to use us, and I'm going to bring all the inventory on platform, and they'll make more money than they would selling in private, and we'll shift more inventory, and everyone's a winner.
I think, Nat's becoming president of the ICA, so I think some of your ideas have a much better chance of, having some movement happen with them. But anyway, I love it that Nat's going to do it. I love that you have a relationship with Nat. He knows you're for real. And Ryan, it's, pleasure you having you in the space, because you shake it up and, you say all the right things, especially to me in private. No, it say all the right things here. I mean, for domain investors listening, I think Yusuf joined us. Did he join us on stage? Yusuf, are you there? I can't see you. He came up here.
It's all coming on YouTube. The $500 to $1 million is coming on YouTube. The Bible and how we pick domains is coming on YouTube. I've kind of been toying whether it should be on Vimeo versus YouTube, because I don't really want to commercialize it. I don't want to make money from ads, and some of the tooling will be there. But I've got 3 video people full time working on stuff, so I've not. It's all the branding and all the other shit, 'cause it's part of a bigger project, if you like. And some of the stuff we're recording, or have been recording for the last month or so, is private conversation about how we build the company, kind of family arguments, all this good stuff. And that'll be released probably 3 months down the line once it's no longer sensitive. So there's a bunch of stuff that's going to be interesting to watch. Maybe follow along, make loads of money if you're early. We all want the same thing, right? There isn't a shortage of dollars, and there's certainly not a shortage of domains. I can tell you everything I know, and you can also make loads of money. If I make $1, you're not losing $1, right? We're all in the same team. It's funny because I have this domain academy, and Drew's part of it, and someone tried to sell me a 3letter.com, and I put it on the group, and Drew was like, oh, I offered 40 grand for it or something. I'm like, well, okay, why don't people just share information? You can just basically squeeze out the people you don't want to be in the industry, basically China. And so it's just sharing information. It's like, when I grew up as a kid, I don't know how everyone else grew up, but there was one book in the library, and if you weren't quick enough there, you didn't have a book. And at school, open source came along, so we all share information. I'm a great believer in it. So domains have changed my life. I do not need to work, right? So I can teach you what I know, and maybe you can have that thing and you can share it with your kids or your partner or everything else. And basically you can take that step across and live the dream life that a lot of people in this room are probably living anyway. You know, domains have been transformational. We all have a responsibility to ensure more and more people learn about it. It grows the market, everyone wins, and not just that, but it is an amazing opportunity to not worry about money and bills and stress and renewals and stuff. You know, I do not worry about renewals. I've never dropped a domain. I don't need to, because I'll just sell it for $1, right? And I was aware of that, acutely aware of it, but I also don't venture into GTLDs or all these other stuff, because basically if I go to my bank, right, I want it to be a high street bank. I don't want some degenerate on the corner holding on to my money. By the same token, I don't believe in GTLDs and stuff, because it should be an escrow and stuff. Like, they can change the price to $20,000 tomorrow. Why the hell would I build a business on that? You know, it's like going to my dealer or something, my heroin dealer, to look after my money. It just wouldn't happen. I go to a bank, and that's why I buy .coms only and the odd organ net. So these are basic things. Life is really simple. Do not go and buy NFTs. Do not buy crypto. Do not pass go. Buy .coms, only .coms. Learn the data, make the money. It's boring. Life's good. You can change lives. Happy days.
Yeah. Speaking of crack cocaine, Jeremiah, you or Summit want to come up here? Make any comments? What the fuck? Okay, this has been a great show. We're going for another 15, 20 minutes, and we're going to get out of here. But boy, shared a lot today. So Ryan, it's going to be, your YouTube channel is going to be the primary source where you're going to share what's going on. Is that what I was trying to get at? Is that where we're going to be directed to?
Yeah. At Manic Million. I've got the mansion. We've got the Manic Mansion. I don't know if you've seen that. But basically, if you want to come and hang, I'm getting loads of villas around the world. If you want to come and chat domains, or you've got a business you want to grow and stuff, come and speak to the team. Come for 3 days, 5 days a week, whatever it is you like. Come and learn about domain names or websites.
So you come to a mansion, a villa somewhere around the world, right? And that's what you're saying? Come there for 3 days, and it's a domain retreat?
So I'm going, yeah, well, kind of like, basically, I'm going to hire a villa. I put it out on all my socials and you, basically, because I want to see if I can get to 10 million or something ridiculous in a year. I think I can, because I had big followings before. But basically, yeah, I'm going to get a mansion somewhere random, wherever it might be, and whoever wants to rock up for however long they can. And if there's loads of demand, we'll get 2 mansions, and it's going to cost nothing. It's going to be free, because I'm good like that. And
that's awesome. Yeah. I walk around in a towel a lot, so if you guys come to the mansion, you'll probably see me. Hey, where's the massage table? And that's me. And I like fresh watermelon too. It's got to be sweet as sugar. So be sure and have
it. Todd, we might have to speak about you coming to the place. We might have to get you a separate villa.
No, I prefer you. I want a room with you, so you can talk me to sleep.
Wait,
like you did today.
If it's free, why wouldn't everyone just go? Who doesn't have like a house?
I don't know. I guess they could if they could. I guess homeless people or something, they might do. I don't know if they can afford the flight. I wasn't sure about paying for flights, because we need some barriers to entry.
Depends where it is. It is.
It's not going to be in Jacksonville. We can tell you that. You're going to have to fly. Yeah,
I know. Yeah. Free mansion life. I mean, I think there's some domainers that might want to take you up on that.
And do not do it in Toronto, because you'll have squatters. I can see a few of them right in the crowd. Hey,
I'm thinking Morocco. I think that's the Arab domain community is blowing up. I think we should go and pay them a visit. I think the ICA need to do more. Like, it's good, Nat. Like, it's great, Nat's the president, whatever it is. I emailed them earlier in the week. They're fucking slow. They're fucking useless. I like them, but unfortunately, as an organization, it's just I don't know. They need a rocket up their arse, basically, to do something useful. We can afford legal advice. It's all this legal speak. It's fucking boring. Why can't they be normal people, put normal content out, understand that the domain world's cock heavy in America? Can we get some people? Can we stop abusing Sweffer? Can we get to India and Pakistan and Argentina and all these other places, instead of just being like, here, who wants a US contract? Who wants this? Who wants that? Like, can we just accept that that domains are kind of global, and there should be more representation from people around the world? And like I've seen it with India. They've kind of come and gone. I've seen it now. The Arab domain community was selling domains for dollars because I sponsored them, right? And there's a massive community. Now they're selling them for 5 figures and all this kind of stuff. And there's millions of Arab speakers, literally, or thousands, hundreds of thousands of Arab speakers. Why can't we be more inclusive, and that kind of thing, and get them names on all this other stuff, or whatever it might be. Anyway, rant over.
No, that's cool, Ryan. Listen, we only go on that 15 minutes. I have nothing on the agenda other than Josh was saying preserve the earth. We'll get to that next week. He was talking about, why outer space. That's not a domain topic. I love it that everybody's, thinking of innovative things in the domain space. Josh, DNX not even launching yet. There may be something there, though. I think, Josh, you know that too. Ryan raises the appropriate money. He's got some of it in the bank already. DNX, what a great name. What a great, you've shown that you're not just selling some fluff. You've built a whole company. So, Ryan, you got a smoking deal from him on DNWE. You can badger him
I think the
down
thing is,
a little
like,
bit.
DNX set the thingy, right? That's the future. Josh just needs to stick with it for a few years. He's got an amazing team with Leanne and stuff like that, Discord and everything. That's like, ultimately, I see that as the future of domaining. And all you have to do is stick there and you'll build value and everything else. And, Sado's coming and going, and Dan's been and gone, and Atom, like, realistically, they're not going to do anything, nothing against them. They're just not that good, right? You'll notice from us, we're proud to be from the UK. I pay more taxes and pay more for people because I want to be from the UK. I'm proud of that kind of thing. And if someone, if you really went into the proud from America thing, then, Atom is just basically offshore garbage. It's always been garbage. And they should have been, I don't understand how they can price stuff and change. I mean, they should have been held up by the Advertising Commission years ago. But it's convenient to not do that because the investors and everything else are all like, the whole thing's just, they're not going to be around that long. They're garbage. I like Darpan kind of, but they're garbage. And Josh, you need to step up.
You're too much. Hey, Josh, hold on before you say something. The reason you're a perfect match for DNX, right? You speak Cockney already, because I can't understand. I speak to Leanne. She's like, Todd. She never talks to me, but
I just don't have as much confidence in myself as Ryan does in himself or me, unfortunately. But I appreciate it.
No, you've done it already. It's amazing. Like, DNX is amazing. It's funny. I saw Stephen Liebman when I was in Seville for the conference, right? And he comes up and he says, "Hey, we've launched Digital Candy." I said, "Oh, fantastic, Stephen. By the way, you're 5 years too late and you're gone. Right, you're gone this year. You're gone because we will have everyone. We do the whole stack, and basically you vibe coded and that's the score." And I think, Josh, you set the barrier with DNX. That motivated me to be better and perform better because it's a really good site. It's well curated. You should have kept DNWE basically to more port across, and you should have kept your Josh thing, but that's separate. You've set the barrier for what is the future, and I said that all along. I think you and Leanne and stuff are going to do amazing things. And remember, I'm a bit older and stuff, and I've been through the mill a bit. So in certain aspects, if you just stay true to it, you're going to achieve amazing things. You've already achieved amazing things, right? So just keep going.
When Josh is gone, when you do decide that Josh is gone, tell me first so I can tell him, because I want to tell him. When I say, Josh, you're gone, I'll tell you, but I'll tell you here live, tell you personally. Hey, okay, well, Josh, what comment did you want to have to say? This is a good combo. We're rolling through this, baby.
No, I mean, it's very kind of Ryan to say those things. I appreciate it. We obviously keep working. We keep working hard. I've kind of said this before, and I'll say it again. A lot of success that we have, I wouldn't say that we have tons of success, but a lot of it comes from just having a good relationship with the people that I need in order to build what we want to build, whether it comes from partners like GoDaddy, like Atom, like Cedo, to the people that we have on our team. And it's like Ryan knows the guys that I have on my team pretty well, and obviously Leanne as well. They are, I would say, in my opinion, pretty critical to what we're able to achieve. And although it's a small team, I like it that way. And I mean, whether we get an awful lot successful beyond where we're at today, I would say the project has been a success up until now anyway. So yeah, I appreciate it.
It's definitely all the podcasts, everything. And Leanne is a superstar. And so, and ICANN accreditation, all these things are really good things. It's just staying the course. And, I'm a bit more out there and stuff like that, but partly because I've built 500 websites, and I got hammered for Brandable when there was a data leak. So that was devastating for me. I put my heart and soul into projects, and then there was an issue. And so I went away and I managed to get some really talented people because they like working with me because I'm a lunatic, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with, you know, I wear my heart on the sleeve. I'll tell you straight up if I've, you know, and that's hard to be part of a community when you can tell someone, you know, like I went to ICA and I basically told them to fuck off. Now, that's a good and a bad thing. It's hard because people don't want the truth. They want me to be part of the community, but when I call out D3 or something, then they don't want me to be part of it, or the ICA. And that's unequivocal, because I don't need to work. I don't need to be part of the community. That's the score. You want the truth. That's the score. And so when I see people are doing well, I want to tell them they're doing well, because they are doing well. And when they're messing up or they could do better, then I'll tell them. And that's not for everyone, but that's the truth. And that's what you're getting. That's the way I am. And so if that means I can't be part of the community, fine, it is what it is. But I'm not going to bite my tongue because someone's paid me or because it's beneficial to me. The truth is the truth. And that's it.
Speaking of ICA, I know you mentioned you feel like they can do more outside of the US. I mean, as a member, I assume that there are things that you appreciate about the organization. I mean, one of the things that I find to be the case is that Nat, I know who's just become the ICA president, seems to have his priorities, like, in my opinion, they seem fairly well aligned with the interests of most investors. I mean, he's obviously a pretty big investor himself. What would you have him do?
Well, the problem is, look, so no, Nat and Camilla and all these people, amazing people, right? There are people who are members who have knowingly committed fraud and should not be able to participate, should not be able to get on stage, more than one, right? They should not be allowed to be part of the organization. The organization should have a pair of balls, and when there's a complaint, they should step in and deal with it. They should be more inclusive. This is different. Remember that Nat is part of the problem and part of the solution, in that he created it, right? There is no voice. It's all legal, boring shit that no one cares about. It's not engaging. They make zero effort with people. You know, no one stepped in about sweating. No one stepped in about encouraging other people. No one does anything apart from people who pay sponsorship get promoted, and I have to go there and listen to garbage from people who have committed fraud. I just think it's wrong. So basically, Nat is amazing, but someone like me needs to come in and work with him and go, right, basically, here's the score. You adhere to this code of conduct, or you're not part of the organization. End of story. Right. And then we go, okay, cool. Well, we need a representative in the UK. Who's going to be the UK representative? Because we need contracts in UK law. We need sales agreements. We need to hold nominate accountable. And the same for Canada, and the same for Australia. And it's the same conversations I'm having when I'm being approached by large portfolio holders and saying, Ryan, can you put a platform in Canada or Australia or some weird governments that approach me? And I'm like, okay, cool. Who's the self-governing body that's going to come in and actually do something when I'm gone? This is the thing: is when I'm gone in 3 years' time, who is going to step into that void in UK or Canada or these other places? And the ICA is set for that. I'm not creating another organization because ultimately I have enough money to cover my own legals and stuff like that. They're amazing people, but ultimately they need to step up, and that's why. That's part of the problem and part of the solution, because he founded it. It's his values. They're all really nice people in America for Americans, and they turn a blind eye because it's convenient. That's why. Why do you think you can't have Google Ads if you're linked to the ICA website? The spam rating of the ICA website highlights the problem within the organization.
What's the who are the fraudulent people that they're promoting?
I can't. It'd be a bit unfair to go into it, but there's certainly 3 people that have committed fraud in terms of transactions I've been involved in. So that's changing documentation. That's misrepresentation of figures and stuff like that. So I wouldn't. It wouldn't be appropriate to go into it. But these are well-known people, right? There's nothing particularly like. These are well-known people. And the other thing is that I don't want to always be like, oh, the ICA is shit and stuff, right? But ultimately, I sent an email a week ago and they've done nothing, right? And it's because it's convenient. There's a little club and it's, hey, look how good I am. Let me go on stage because I paid $500. Let me go on stage and bore the shit out of everyone and giving no information away about a domain no one cares about. It's just boring.
Yeah, I would say that I will say that it's made up of a lot of people that have been in the industry for a long time. So there's that. Some of the people that have been in the industry for a long time probably donate a lot of money to them, though. I know that there's definitely some larger donors in there that write pretty big checks towards them, and they probably have more influence over what the ICA lobbies against, for example. but
it's just evolved past that. It's not like it's evolved past that. And like when I said to Nat, look, I've put in 25 or 50K within 2 seconds, he's like, yeah, cool, right? We could get 20 people to each put in 50K and agree it for 3 years. They'd have enough funding to have a dedicated person for events and grow and everything else and have that resilience to be independent, right? That's all it counts. But ultimately, it's whether it's beneficial to what's there already to stay as it is. They all want the same thing apparently, but there's wanting it and there's doing it, and that's the difference. The amount of people that come to me, oh, Ryan, I've got a great idea. Wow, fantastic, good for you. Do you know the difference between me and you? I execute, you don't.
What do you think is the top priority in domains that the Internet Commerce Association should be lobbying for? Is it like .com prices or?
No, I'm not bothered about prices. Prices aren't. I'm okay. I think it's more than reasonable. If you choose to go with a GTLD, you accept that risk. As long as you're aware of it, then you accept it. I think it's more that they should have tooling and stuff. I think they should be inclusive, like India and other people where they have banking and stuff like that. They could do a lot to help. Because remember that ICANN is not just about domain names, it's about the DNS infrastructure of the whole of the internet. So anything that runs across that infrastructure is technically challengeable and manageable. And there are people who are in Pakistan and India and South America who don't have the same opportunities as us. So how can we better represent them and their needs? Why can't we have scholarships to fly people like Arif across to NameCon or Sweffer to come on, to come and be in person somewhere? Because it's amazing to promote these people and have them talk about life in India and how they've developed and all that. That's inspirational. And that's how, as bad as Epic was or as good as Epic was, how you feel about that. They did a lot for, or the vision for Africa and equality and stuff was good, right? It was good. Let's forget about everything else they've done. But why can't we promote people in different parts of the world who have major disadvantages to us and they go on and achieve greatness? Like, that's inspirational. Selling a domain for $70 million is not inspirational, right? Someone who's had massive adversity in Pakistan and then goes on to change stuff, that's inspirational.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of what your aspirations are selfless, while everyone else in the world is typically self-interested. So that's probably where the hiccup is. But
why? Like, the only thing is that like everyone is doing well enough, right? You don't need a bigger house, you don't need a bigger car, your kids don't need more money, right? And that's the thing. So why wouldn't you, if you genuinely believe that domains have changed your life, why wouldn't you get behind giving some of it away? Knowledge, right? You don't give away money, give away knowledge, right? You still own your domains, you still have that technical advantage you've got, like you bought all those finance domains or stuff, right? The more you study, the more you learn, the opportunity you carve yourself. But why there comes a point where how much money do you need to have a good life? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, that's my thing. $70 million.
Hey, I was walking. I'm on a Hummer car lot right now. I'm getting a big Hummer. And when you were hearing you guys talk, I was thinking, what about me? What about me and my interest? Okay, I'm having a good time here. Brian, what I'm going to do is I'm going to request that we have an uncensored ICA call. We have these monthly calls, but really basically so everyone's aware. Yeah, there's going to be one that all members, it's for members only, but really have uncensored, so it can get a little rough around the edges, meaning this conversation needs to be on an ICA call with all the people that we're talking about. And it's of course a private membership, so members only, but really it's been a long time since we've had like I said, an uncensored, no topic off limit, and really get responses back and forth. I mean, it is true. I know, personally, you truly are selfless, and I know you want the best. I love the idea of individuals, not these brokers and these lawyers. And I know who you're talking about, but it's brokers and lawyers, some of the ones that are, okay. So the point is, need to, not separate ourselves. I'm certainly not, from the ICA, and I know you're not, but we need to really have a call. And especially, I love it when we can all see each other on one of those big calls, 40, 50 of us, and make sure the entire board is there. Because I notice, the board, we have these calls and half the board doesn't show up. And it's like, I try to be at every thing, every event, everything. Why? And it's like, because the attendance is very important, just to show you're there. Now and then, I take it more seriously than, a lot of the fucking board members, how I look at it. But we'll see how things change or evolve. And you can't help it. I would say with Nat, he's interested. He can't help it. It's like me. He's interested as a businessman in the legal sides of stuff. But I agree with you. That's not interesting stuff at all. But fortunately for us, he's a domain investor too. But it's like finding the right balance, and really it should be heavily weighted with interest for domain investing and the relationships. And I think there's a lot of different areas of the industry, not just a broker code of conduct, but we've talked about registries, registrars, lawyers, codes of conduct for all these different areas. Hey, we're going to call it quits for today. We went on. It's been pretty good. I liked it. Hey, thanks for being here. Thanks everybody for being here. My co-host Josh, of course. You're going to see us next Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. We do this every Thursday. It's the DNX Show here on X. And like I said, we stream live on YouTube, and you can listen to replays on Spotify and Apple Podcast. But really appreciate Adam and Mike joining us. I go around the room and see Namably and Arif and Darcy and Ryan. Thanks for sharing a lot. It's been fantastic. I really enjoyed this show. Thanks so much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you on Saturday on Ish's room. I love being there because, like I said, raise hell, and I don't have to be responsible. But so that's normally 10 a.m. Pacific on Saturdays, Ish's domain investing show. But other than that, I also do the domain name law show, but you can check that out next week. Until then, everybody take care of yourself wherever you're at. Enjoy the rest of the evening, rest of the morning, whatever. See you next time.